Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Jason with Jadren Aquatics. Thanks for hanging out with me again. So before we get started on showing you around the fish room and showing you what kind of changes and stuff that we got going on, I want to tell you guys about an amazing auction that is coming up. It's put on by the Greater Austin Aquarium Society. So if you guys are anywhere around Austin, I'm in the Dallas area and I'm going to drive the 3 hours to go down there. I'm actually going to go down there a day early and film some fish rooms and some stores while I'm down there. So if you guys are anywhere in the area on Saturday at 12 o'clock, I'll link down below. You guys come out and join me, come say hi. It's going to be an amazing time. They've had a ton of donations of all types of fish that are going to be in the auction, so it's going to be fantastic. This is a newer community, but it is absolutely booming. I just love to see in the group, to see all the communication and stuff that's going on. Just a fantastic group. So if you guys can make it, you gotta make it. All right, so let's go ahead and let's go around the room so I can show you guys what is going on in the fish room. All right, let's start with this tank first. This is a 40-gallon breeder that I have. These are the shell dwellers that I got in about a month or so ago. These guys are quickly becoming my favorite fish. These guys have so much personality. They just stand here and stare at you all the time. It's like they're always on guard. I understand why people just love shell dwellers now. Here, let's throw a little food in there. They're not a fan of the camera yet. But sometimes we throw some food out there, it'll kind of draw them out. But these guys, I've absolutely fallen in love with them. I need more shell dwellers. All right, next tank, this is another 40-gallon breeder. This one is, I've moved a bunch of stuff from another tank into this one. The angelfish that are in here are ones that I just got from the auction not too long ago. Then I moved the electric blue rams over here also. And then I moved the cories that are in here over also. This 40-gallon, this one doesn't have anything in it yet, doesn't even have sponges. This one I literally just got set up. This is some of the wood that I bought at the auction. Yeah, at the auction. This piece looks really, really cool. Don't know what I'm putting in this. Hopefully I'm gonna get a whole bunch of stuff while I'm at the Austin auction to fill a bunch of these tanks. This tank right here is a 40-gallon breeder. These are a whole bunch of plants that I bought at the swap meet. I don't know where I'm putting them at yet. They're just standing in here for now. But I think what my plan is for these, my daughter-in-law had the idea of buying some of the dwarf orange crayfish. I think they call them CPOs. I might buy like 30 or so of those to go in there. I think that those look kind of neat, and they stay kind of small. And again, that's why the plants aren't standing in here, because those guys love to tear up plants, just destroy them. Up here in this tank, we've had a bunch of super red fry that have been born. So they're just kind of throughout the tank right now. This tank right here, this is the one where I just had the explosion of shrimp. You don't see quite as many of them right now. When I put food in this thing, there are literally thousands of them. What I did differently with this thing, I moved all of the fish that I had out of here. I had some albino cories, and I also had some longfin chocolates that I had in here also. I went ahead and moved all of those out and decided to keep this as a shrimp only tank. I moved all the wood and stuff that was out of it because I want to make it easier for me to catch them. These are the ones that I've started selling just as random culls on eBay, and I've had fantastic luck. So I just want a better way to be able to catch them, and so that's why I've moved all that excess stuff out. So I'm gonna start kind of clearing some of the guppy grass out of here also, just to make my life a little easier. Down here in this tank, we've also got some fry that have been born. These are super red albinos. I don't know, there's a whole bunch of these guys all in here too. I haven't decided if I'm gonna leave them in here, or I like to have a Plecostomus grow out tank because it's a whole lot easier just feeding a can of green beans to it every day. That way I know they're getting a whole bunch of food. Okay, next tank, this is the tank that has the Leopard Frog plecostomus in it. Well, 6 or 8 of them. This is the one that's absolutely out of control with the hair algae. I've decided I'm going to tear this tank down, so I'm going to move everything out of it, put them in different tanks. The only sad part about it is if you look in here, these fantasy blue Neos that I have in here love this moss or hair algae. I mean, they are just all over. They've just exploded in population. But I just cannot stand the way this tank looks anymore. And the fish get so caught up in this stuff that there's no way they can enjoy it. So within the next week or so, I'm going to tear this one down, move the fish into a different place, get it all cleaned up, and then get it set back up to brand new. This is the tank that I was breeding all of the mystery snails in. I've kind of put that on hold. I was having a lot of problems as my adults were getting a lot of cleft shells. I thought I was getting them enough calcium, but apparently I wasn't. So I'm not going to, I'll still kind of breed them a little bit here and there, but I'm not going to designate it a tank. So this whole entire tank right here is going to be changed over also. You'll see these 3-spot gouramis in here. These were bought simply for the fact to get rid of the pond leeches that I had in here, and they have actually completely decimated the population of those leeches. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep those guys or just trade them back in. One of the ones, I didn't even see it when I got it. He's missing an eye. I think he's back there. He's actually missing an entire eye. This is another 40-gallon breeder that I had the mystery snails breeding or grow out in. Right now it's just full of shrimp. Again, this is another tank that I'm doing something else with. As of right now, I don't know exactly. This tank, I've thrown in some random guppies. Like this one is a Santa Claus one because I lost both the females, and this is another one that I lost the male and the female. And so I've just kind of started throwing some of my extra guppies that I don't, not extra guppies, but ones that I've lost their mates to. This is the one that I moved some of the stuff out of, the electric blue rams and stuff. Now all that are in here are rust cories. So this tank needs a bunch of more stuff. This is the tank that had all the gold rams and the black angels. I have lost all the gold rams, as in they died. This is like the second or third time I've lost all my gold rams. I just slowly lose them, and I have absolutely no idea why. There's only 2 black angels in here right now because there was a pair that started laying eggs, so I went ahead and moved them. And then I had another one that had Popeye and another one that had a bunch of where he had been hit a bunch of times from one of the other males. So I have those guys in a hospital tank right now. And then I moved a pair of Apistogrammas over here. These are called, I don't know, hog sly or something like that. So there's a pair of those guys that are in there. This is a 20-gallon tall. This is the one I got these Killifish, golden Killifish, I think that's what they're called, at the auction. So I put that pair of those guys in here. This is the other pair of black angels that I was talking about that I've moved them over here into this tank and put a breeding cone in there. These guys I literally just moved like an hour ago, so they're still trying to figure out what the heck they're doing. I got to watch this tank carefully because whenever they lay eggs, I got to move them quickly because I quickly learned that mystery snails will eat eggs and they like them. I'll give a better update on all of my shrimp probably next week, so I can tell you about some of the ones that I've bought, because I've bought a lot lately. I mean a lot. So you guys can see how I'm doing, see which ones I've lost. But right now I've got all 18 of these tanks that have some type of different shrimp in it, almost all of them Caridinas. This rack over here, the one that has the 12 tins on it, every single one of these have shrimp except for the top row. The top row didn't have anything in it because as you can see right here, I used a 1x1 to as the brace on this side, so it was easier to lift the lids. But they seem to be doing fine here, but when I had the 1x1 here, this thing was bowing like crazy. So I had to tear these tanks down, even though I didn't have shrimp in them yet, so I could put this 2x4 in its place so I don't have to worry about any bowing. But these things are all set up now. I got matin filters in all of them, and just waiting to put some shrimp, Caridina shrimp in there. I've got the active substrate and the right type of remineralized water. Also on almost all of my shrimp tanks, I've got matin filters back here in the back now. I still have about 15 or 20 of them that I still need to do. Some of the ones you'll see that the matin filter's in there, but they're also still have the sponge filter, because I want to let them run for a couple of months and make sure that matin filter gets plenty of the bacteria in it before I completely remove that sponge filter. So that's going to be a long, drawn-out process. This is the video that I did the other day on the tank that I have for the fry grow out. I'm finally having some really good success. If you look in here, there's probably at least 200 platinum and black angels in here. I've gotten it down to where I'm feeding them brine shrimp about 5 times a day. And in here, you can't hardly see them, but there's about 5 angelfish that I've grown up to almost dime size. The ones that I was really learning on. But again, I've learned that you just have to feed these things brine shrimp about 5 times a day. You got to keep watching their bellies and make sure that their bellies stay full. Then on a sad note on this tank, you'll see the female zebra angelfish that I have in here, and the male is gone. The male had a swim bladder problem where he was literally just laying on the bottom of the tank. I had to make him a thing with PVC that would keep him upright. I gave him Epsom salt baths. I tried to feed him shelled peas. I couldn't get anything to get him to come back. So after about 3 weeks of just seeing him suffer, I finally had to euthanize him. So she no longer has her mate, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. Probably get another pair and just move her into one of the other tanks. But on a positive note, these 2 pairs, the black angels and the platinum angels, these guys are laying eggs probably about every 2 weeks each. They're about 5 or 6 days apart, so literally I'm getting eggs out of them almost every single week now. I've given up on them trying to take care of them. That just doesn't seem to work. So I'm breeding them and raising them up myself. All right, so there you go. There is the update on the fish room. You guys know exactly what's going on. Another reminder, don't forget about the auction that'll be this Saturday in Austin. Again, that'll be linked down below. If you guys got any questions, be sure and leave it down below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, be sure and hit that subscribe button. So thanks again, guys, and God bless.